It is the morning of the 15th of February. Oh my goodness, the day after Valentine's. How is everybody? I'm struggling here this morning. What else is new for Dana Durnford at the nuclearproctologist.org? This is the average day. But at least I don't have the headaches Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has in Japan. I suck to be that guy. Be a killer. Be a murderer. Wrecked his own country. Turned his back on everything for $1. Rather than be a man and go deal with Fukushima, you're going to try to pretend it didn't happen. You're going to take the most vulnerable people in our society and send them to their deaths when he won't dare go there himself. He faked it. Send him into Reactor 3 and tell him to give his next speech in there. He won't do it. He won't do it because he will die immediately. Just like Unit 2, which is still intact, but everybody's saying, oh my God, we're going to lose Japan if Unit 2 goes. But Unit 3, 4 is gone. Unit 1 is gone. You're living in a fantasy, thinking that the reactor's still there when it's gone. And Abe, I'll call him Abe, Prime Minister of Japan, has essentially killed the planet already. We're dead. We're dead people. We're dead planet. It's just, it's a slow kill. If you want to call what's happening slow, 6 years to death to the Pacific. Does that seem slow? We killed an entire ocean in 6 years? And if you think this is nonsense, then there's something wrong with you. Go back to your little fantasies. Don't waste my time. We're here to fight for you anyway. We don't need you to fight for you. You don't deserve us to fight for you, but we will. Because can't fight for you without fighting for ourselves, because we're all in the same boat. You're getting paid to destroy me and people like me. Not that there's many people like me doing the things I'm doing in that context. And I don't blame them. It's such a difficult, unimaginably twisted world we live in, where the reactors are destroyed, completely destroyed, and people are allowed to go in and fake it. And Prime Minister didn't call him out for faking the reactor, saying, hey, that's not Reactor 4, dummy, that's Reactor 4. Get over there. Didn't bar Rupert Winfield's Hayes from the country for fake news and from being a murderer. He's a murderer. BBC still has him employed. They let him go in there and do it. Their editors and producers and film crew all know that he didn't go down there. They say, hey, Rupert, a video showed up at you at the Reactor 4. Yeah, it's okay. Me and the Prime Minister worked out a deal. It's a hologram. It's not Reactor 4, but we're going to tell the idiots that are the Japanese and everybody else, because that's how they think of them, even though they're not. They're great people, but they're going to lie to these great people. They're going to lie to their friends and families and loved ones, including Rupert had to lie. You think he told his friends and families, no, it's not really Unit 4. We faked it. You think he done that? And so, the Prime Minister of Japan didn't come out and say, hey, that's fake. He knows that doesn't exist. He knows that anybody that goes out on the roof dies, yeah? That's a fact. If you're on the roof of that building, we zoom in, look at the dead people on the roof. That's always fun. If there's anybody. Now, that's just me. You see on the roof? That's a simulation of the homeless, the destitute, the victims of society. Harvard is not going to go there. Harvard is not going to get on that roof. Prime Minister Abe is not going to go out there and give a speech. He's dead in a few seconds. TEPCO's not going in there. They'll be dead in a few seconds. Right? Remember, nobody died at Japan, but you'll die in a few seconds if you go near the building. But yet all this is done. How did all that get done? How did we get all that done if you're going to die in a few seconds, but nobody died? How does that work? And good morning, everybody, in the comment sections. Good morning, folks. How is everybody? It's a busy morning. I got to make concessions in my life that is going to cost this planet. It's going to cost this planet its lifespan. This planet is dependent upon us getting up every day and doing our job, whether we realize it or not. The planet is dependent upon us coming here and pushing back. The Pacific Ocean demands we do this. The whales that are emaciated and starving to death right now demand we do this. They're not asking, they're telling us. And the death of the Pacific is telling us it's time to take back our planet from a handful of people. Obviously, democracies don't work. Obviously, 51% taking away the rights of the other 49% is a guaranteed quickest way to get rid of an entire planet and an ecosystem. These buildings are not shiny fuel pools, so why did Prime Minister Shinzo Abe allow people like this to come out and manipulate everybody? Why did he not confess to his country that there's a crisis, that they got to deal with it? Why does he have to hide it away and pretend it didn't happen? And so therefore, he's the most dangerous man to Japanese besides the BBC for sending, and their producers and editors for allowing monsters like that to exist. Is he any different than Jimmy Savile? Right? This is why BBC is so hated. But this should also be why Prime Minister Shinzo Abe should be held to account. 30 million bags? Today's just a talk. It's a talk about that reality that we got 30 million bags. 30 million bags. Tens of thousands of small dumps all over the place. Entire country destroyed. We got people faking being inside a reactor that everybody knows doesn't exist. These reactors doesn't exist. The fuel pools are at the top of the building. So the Prime Minister of Japan has done everything but his job. His job is not to pretend, right? His job is not to make up shit and sacrifice thousands of people So a public relation firm can come out and say, hey, we got the fuel out of the pond. When the pond obviously could not exist. They used the homeless, the destitute, the victims of society. Right? And then they use these people to fake. These are fake. Going to fake being in a building that don't exist. But the Prime Minister of Japan is not going to call out these fake people. He's going to allow them to come in and fake being in a fuel pool that don't exist. Because it's all over the country. That's why there's 30 million one-ton bags. That's why everybody has to wear these stupid looking suits that don't protect you. Are you some kind of like an idiot to think that that's going to protect you from gamma shine or X-rays or neutrons bursts? The neutron burst will go through 10 feet of cement and kill you in a few minutes if you get close enough to it. But if you walk within 300 feet of it like these people are doing, you're going to die in a few weeks or a month. This is why at Chernobyl, we sent people out on the roof for 10 to 15 seconds and then they went home, right? Yeah? That's why we done stuff like that. And at Chernobyl, they didn't fake and say, oh, no, the fuel pool's okay. Look at it. Right? The media didn't come out and say, here's the fuel pool, which is the reactor cores that are stored for decades, but are now being picked up in 30 million one-ton bags. The reactor cores were up high in the building, yeah? Right? This is the very basis of this story. And we got to keep driving that point home because these people are dead. Anybody goes into Fukushima dies. They might not die for a year or two or three, but depending on where they went there, they might got away with it because depending on when they got there. If they got there right away, they probably died right away because the fuel rods detonated and went all over the site. They're picked. Like, oh, yeah. Right? They stuck that on their back. They don't even speak the language. You're looking at immigrants. Look at the belts they got on. Do you think they're going to go in and climb around a reactor? Really? Really? When we know that everybody goes near as it dies. Really? That's a fact. Like, do you understand what they're up to? They're just deceiving you. Right? That's all they're doing. They're tricking you with little tricks. Most of this is done with green screens. That's all they're doing. They're just manipulating people. Hang on, I'll put you through some of that. Here's how that would work. He's a green screen, yeah? It comes with his own music. But he's not there. Well, he is. He's in front of me. But he's as dear as these guys are. Because they be dead. You didn't sit there like all big shots. No, they be dead. And why are they there if it looks like that? Why is there a big whoop if it looks like that? Why the alleged manpower if it looks like that? What's the big bawooza if it looks like this? Huh? Anybody? Nobody? Well, because it doesn't look like that. That's why we picked up 30 million one-ton bags. See, they're not going to show you that pictures and say it looks like that, are they? They're just going to show you that picture and says that's it. They're not going to say 30 million of these bags have come out of these 4 buildings, but it looks like that, so don't worry about it. It's okay. They don't abandon towns and everybody dresses like this. And the stuff they're wearing can't protect you. Idiots. Like idiots. These people are idiots. This is why the Prime Minister was elected because he's incapable of having an emotional response to these victims. He's incapable of seeing these people as victims, right? His staff, the government, these are cutthroats. They got the job in government because they're vicious thugs. Don't deny it. You got the job because you're vicious thugs. You got the job because you'll just, there's nothing you won't do to keep your job. You'll wreck any community there to keep your job. You'll rip off and destroy anybody there to keep your job. That's what you people, you're monsters. Enjoy it. That's what you are. You work for the government. You're true monsters. And buildings look like that, but you're going to run around saying it looks like that. That's what you do. You're monsters. Don't be ashamed of it. Monsters shouldn't be ashamed of what they are. And Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is a monster in every sense of that word, yeah? He knows those buildings are destroyed. He knows they're not pretty like that. He knows they don't look like this. Right? He knows they look like that. And he knows that inside of it is not going to look like that. And he knows that all of these people faking it right there publicly came out in the media. These are lawyers sanctioned by Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Because he's a mass murdering freak who hates you and everybody. And he just wants to keep the nuclear industry, keep the bags. He probably owns shares in the bag company. See, the minute that you let the nuclear industry murder your country, you stop being a human, the human species, that second, that moment. There's no middle ground here. You officially went into the twilight zone permanently and it became a monster. IAEA. Why would you put that behind them? What the hell is that? That's not even on their backs. This is a piece of paper, but it looks like it's Photoshop. Let's have a little look at this. Real time. Dina. Let's see if we can pick out what the frig is going on here. Why would you put that? See, this is Photoshop. Or not, I don't know. Why would you put that on your back? What, are you stupid or something? Are you like an idiot? And then they got the TEPCO logo. Sanctioned by TEPCO, a corporation who could do no wrong. It's pretty depressing that these people are willing to fake the reactors, right? The real heroes. Look, they got a power cord. They're going to hook power up to what? They're doing what? We got what? They're all crazy. And nobody questions that. Nobody looks at this and said, we're in a whole lot of trouble. No one bothered. Look at these people wandering around with little plastic shopping bags in Buddy's hands in the left-hand corner. Look at that Buddy with a shopping bag in his hand. Right, these tanks are emitting gamma shine and neutron. Right, the tanks, the walls of the tanks can't stop that stuff. These are dead. Majority of these are long dead. What's this? All me ducks are in a row. It's just so stupid looking. But look at them. Stomach in, chest out, head up, chin out. Walk along, give them each a uppercut. Knock them all out in one shot. There's Unit 1 in the background, in the top center, kind of. Right above my head there. That's Unit 1. Man. The homeless, the destitute, the victims of society, right? And the equipment they got on can't protect you. You need like a 10-foot suit, 10-foot thick suit. That still wouldn't protect you. Those masks can't protect you. You can't. You're talking about 2 million atoms on the head of a needle. Right? So the head of a needle the tip of a needle, the very tip of the needle. Imagine if that had a hole and you had 2 million atoms on the head of that needle with a hole in it, the hole would look normal. You wouldn't see a difference. So those masks are not able to filter it out. But the stuff I talk about when you're on site, you're worried about this energy, invisible energy that will go through the truck and radiate the guy on the other side of the truck. That will go through the tank because it's a melted core. And all we see is, and these people you can't get this close without dying soon after. You can't get within 300 feet without dying soon after. Probably can't get within 300 meters is actual numbers. And then the ones who are picking up 30 million one-ton bags from 4 friggin' buildings. 30 million one-ton bags from 4 buildings. These bags, of course, are not meant to last very long. I'm just talking about how Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, right, knows that even if you do everything there like you claim, there's no fuel pool shining inside, right? It's just there's 30 million bags came out of a fucking building that destroyed. So this was about faking it, sanctioned by, like, you didn't evacuate all these shops and communities for something to do, right? See that guy there with the blue on? He's probably, and this is Obama's science czar, right? These are freaks. They're laughing the whole time. Yeah, get a picture. Get a picture so I can get on with my day. The victims, most of these were kidnapped and hijacked. Radiation is everywhere so they can move people back in for the Olympics, pretending it looks like that inside of a building that doesn't exist anymore. Right, the building is, as you can see, a good model there. It's really striking, it's right on the ocean. All this hills and everything washes down towards the ocean. The radiation, it absorbed into the trees, the plants, the wood. It irradiates it kind of like a screwdriver. It becomes magnetized, right? Say on a car battery. That's what radiation does to structural material. So you have to pull up all the highways. You got to take down every structure in northern Japan. And then you have to store it. Not burn it in an incinerator. Crazy Japanese people are over there burning dirty bombs 24 hours a day all over Japan. Which is probably right now the most hideous thing ever. It's hideous what they're doing. They just keep picking it up and burning it in the incinerators, and it's like it'll never end. It's a perpetual mass murder machine is what they're doing to us. No accountability, right? It's only the homeless, the victims of society, the people that are desperate, and the immigrants who don't even speak the language. Oh, immigration has gone way down, yeah, because all their loved ones disappeared. They got sucked into this. There is no honor in Japan. Japan has no honor. Japan is a bunch of sneaky, tricky, deceptive, deceitful, malicious, maniacal, demented, spineless, soulless, heartless, emotionless, victim production machines. The whole system is designed to mass murder everything rather than tell the truth and deal with it properly. These are all homeless. These tanks are only supposed to last a year. It's just one great big vacuum, and no matter how you try, it's this and this will destroy the country. Between the two of them, you're going to destroy the country because radiation is not like a banana. I know that's going to freak people. Like, oh, and That's bullshit. Everybody knows it's like walking in the sunshine. No, actually it's not. Dina is like eating a banana. No, actually, no. That's wrong too. Dina's like sleeping next to somebody. No, sorry. Got that one wrong. Well, Dina, there's more radiation when you're eating a potato chip. Well, no, sorry, you got that one wrong too. 4 to 4 anymore. Well, it's like climbing a mountain, Dina. No, afraid not. Dana's like flying in an airplane. Well, no, you'll be wrong again. But it's everywhere, Dana. It's good for you. No, no, and no. Where'd you get all that shit talk? Why are you so stupid? Where could you even dream that up? Do you think we're going to pick up bananas and potato chips with 30 million bags? Huh? Do you? Think we're going to spend $1 billion on a building just because of bananas every year for infinity? Huh? Do you? Really? Huh? You think we're doing all that because of bananas, potato chips, walking in sunshine? But that's what Prime Minister Shinzo Abe wants you to believe. Oh, look, it's all good. Shut your pie hole. Dana's a liar. Dana's a liar. Stacy's son earns 6 bananas a day. A fine patriot. I want a banana, banana, banana. I mean, like, really, when you think about that friggin' banana shit drives me. Where's that banana song? Have I got that there anywhere? Probably not. What else have I got here for everybody today? I wonder. Okay, man. That's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe without his makeup in the morning. Oh, Dana, you're picking on the Prime Minister because he faked a couple of pupils. What's the big whoop? Well, people died, and they're going to do it forever, and they're going to wreck this planet. Like, if it was like that, you wouldn't be worried about it, right? Look how friggin' destroyed the reactor truly is. How do I even pull this off every day, I wonder? So many things against me. There's so much against me to make it through any day. I don't know how I do it. This is reactor 4. Let's take a little what's left of it. There's ground height. Okay, that's 190 feet high, right? Right, hang on. That's 190 feet high you're looking at there. So that would mean that crane is probably a couple of thousand feet high, yeah? That means that truck is probably 3 stories high, 4 stories high. That little truck there is probably at least, well, I don't know, it could be 5 stories there, Dana. I know, these people are like 5 stories tall too. They're homeless. They're dead, by the way. But that's reactor 4. What's left of it? That's supposed to be 190 foot high and 150 foot wide. What you're looking at there is 150 foot width from one end to the left, right of the screen, yeah? And so it's got it all the way down to the floor. Everybody can see that. And those people, by the way, are dead. So they built this fake structure, right? They went through a lot of homeless for that one, buddy. They used mostly cranes. It was mostly, there's no one up there with cutting torches. Even though you don't know with the Japanese, man. But if you go in there, you die a few seconds later. There's 5 reactor cores melted down. Five reactor cores melted down. Now, I'm not calling them a lawyer. I'm just saying I find it hard to believe it looks like that because that's the top of the building. Yeah? I find it hard to believe it looks like that inside of a building that appears to not even exist. I'm just saying. I'm just an observation. I'm not trying to be cocky or something. I'm just like, you know, come on, man. You gotta, like, I know the Prime Minister is pretty fucking thick in the head and stupid, but he can't be this stupid to think that they took 30 million bags out of the building so far. 1-ton bags, 5 roads of traffic around the planet with trucks. Yeah? 5 lanes of traffic right around the planet, bumper to bumper, 1-ton trucks because of the bags. Right? Because of all of these bags they took out of it. It still looks like that inside of it. They got 30 million bags out of it. And they done this to it, but there's no damage because when you go in there, it looks like that. You're looking at the roof of a roof that actually doesn't exist, but don't say those words. Prime Minister said it's okay to come out and manipulate everybody. Don't bother talking about you and the tree is gone. No, don't go there, dude. So when this tsunami came through, it took out everything. Everything detonated, caught fire, blew up, caught fire, detonated, caught fire, blew up, caught fire, detonated, blew up. Caught fire a few more times. Then it blew up again. We sent in all the homeless we could find. We went all over the world. We brought them into Fukushima and we said, make it look pretty again. Pick up all the shiny baggies. 30 million 1-ton bags, but there's no radiation release, Dana. It's all contained, Dana. Okay. I'm trying to work with you. Yeah, I hear you, but everybody's dying when they go near the building. We're running out of homeless and destitute and victims of society and immigrants. Yeah, we want you to go in there and pick up the fill rod. That's got to be the most terrifying thing you could ever say to somebody. 1 homeless. Oh. 2 homeless. Oh. So you're talking about buildings. You're talking about fuel pools. You're talking about fuel pools where that red is too. That's a fuel pool. Above my head. The center one right alongside of me. I'm burnt out, man. Don't know how we made it this far. Got no idea how we survived this long. With what I'm doing and the energy we're putting into it and the time it takes to do anything and accomplish even little things. It's over the top how hard it is to do everything or anything each day. That's not what we wanted. Got no idea what that was all about. So we can have all this connotations. Does anybody know what that was all about? I don't know either. That was it there, I think. Hey, come on. You just waxed the friggin' floor. I'm just playing around. I'm trying to get the kinks out of this, so. There's so many facets to what I do. It's like, I'll never get perfect at anything. No matter how hard I try it, it's not going to happen. Let's see what else I got there. That's I'm not sure what to use sometimes. Let's try that. And that'll work. Okay. So the reactor building, when you look at this, I just broke it down for you. For most of the show here. A short show today. I'm just not feeling good today at all. This is Reactor 3. Gotta come back over to that one, man. I don't know how I get through each show. It's like so. And I got coffee or whatever the frig this shit is. I don't drink coffee. This is tea from the dollar store. Can't be good for you. Tastes like shit. But anyway, it's hard on your head if you don't keep drinking your tea. That's Unit 3. This is 2 million times worse. That's like 2 million reactors in one context, right? The elements are 2 million times worse than any current reactor outside of MOX reactors on the planet. MOX reactors is where they took reclaimed uranium, reclaimed plutonium. So they took missiles that are sitting in silos 40, 50 years or 30 years, whatever. And they're going to try to just break them down. So they took the uranium and plutonium that's for the bomb, this fission product, the 235, 239 plutonium, 235 uranium. Like they're highly coveted fission products and the hot particles that are. But anyway, they recovered the uranium-235, the plutonium-239 from the bombs that has already been weaponized. And that this is what they were burning in that. And that's the right words for it, burning it. They're releasing these massive isotopes into the environment by doing it anyway. Right? So whether it blew up or they just kept releasing the isotopes in the community doing it, they're both inherently terrible. Blowing up, obviously, worse. Now, there was 5 reactor cores stored up high in the building. So everything's coming from uranium. All the daughters are originally from the uranium-238. The 238 is natural uranium. It's a strong, what they call an emitter. But you can't make a dirty bomb out of it. You have to extract, you have to convert it. You have to morph it. You have to create the byproduct, extract the byproduct. The 235, 232, 233 are fission products. This is why the thorium reactor, the salt reactors. But what they do is they take all the 238 and they can turn it all into a fission product by bombarding it with neutrons. And then the 238 accepts the neutron, becomes a 239 plutonium, which is a fissionable product. And you can use that for bombs or chain reaction for reactors. So inside of this, they were using reclaimed uranium, reclaimed plutonium from missiles. This is a death sentence. This is a death blow for Earth when that one blew up. But Prime Minister Shinzo Abe doesn't want to admit that that's an issue. I got something screwed up there. Shouldn't be doing that. Shouldn't be doing that either. But hey, whatever. Let's keep going. So this is Unit 3. Now, this was a 190-foot high building. There's another shot of it. It's gone completely. And what this means, though, is the spent storage. The reactor cores that are stored there are gone. They're gone. They're gone, baby. So we'll end it on that whole coastline was devastated by a tsunami. The red are the people that died. And the yellow are the people that are missing. And the red and the yellow numbers, they died because that tsunami took out 400 kilometers of the coastline. And that the buildings, in comparison to other buildings, you start to understand there's more to the story than what they told you. You can see significant sections of the buildings are missing. So reactor 3 was 190 foot high. That's an 8-story apartment building alongside of it. When you compare it to 130-foot buildings, you kind of realize right away, like if you're the average, you don't need to be an engineer to appreciate what I'm showing you. It helps, but you don't need to be an engineer to appreciate how bad I am with graphics. And is that just me, or did I screw that up? I wonder. Let's see. Just let me fool with this for a second. See if I'm off scale. Who knows? Let's keep going. Let me just buzz through that. That's Chernobyl, so that doesn't really matter for what I'm trying to talk about. Here's a prime example. They're 190 feet wide, and I screwed up somewhere, but just a different batch. So on the top of a building that don't exist, there's fuel pools. And Arnie Gunnarsson used to make those assemblies that went in the fuel pool, but he never bothered saying that one up in the corner was not real. He refused to come out and do that. So did Helen Caldicott. So did Christopher Busby. These people refused to come out and say this was not actually inside the building. That's all they had to do. They done the opposite, where they manipulated everybody and claimed, like Helen Caldicott does it all the time, where she claims that is in these buildings. Reactor 3 and Reactor 4. It's ludicrous, see? Yeah, it's ludicrous. And so when you look at the comparisons, you know, if it looked like the one over there, what would be the issue? But it looks like the one here, so it's easy to understand what that issue is. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is not able to comprehend that there's a difference. Yeah? He's not able to wrap his mind around it, or he's trying to kill you on purpose. There's no middle ground there. He's either trying to kill you, or he doesn't know. Now, how could he not know that this was a big lie, a big cover-up, a big deception? How could he know they didn't fake it, right? How could he not be aware that the media came to his country? It was all over the world saying, no, it's like that over there, not like the one behind me. So, like anybody that wants to give me a thumb down for the title of my video, just to protect the murderer, well, then you're a murderer. You're a killer. Then you're remorseless. Like, are you going to look back on what do you tell your children? Do you lie to yourself? Do you think you can continue to lie to yourself? We have graveyards in Chernobyl of equipment that was irradiated, but nothing in Fukushima. And I don't know what the hell is going on with that today. Who cares? Let's keep going. There's probably mistakes I made when I was doing it. Like the significance of what happened, 950 or almost 1 million deaths confirmed from Chernobyl, and Fukushima is a much bigger reactor. They're 3 times the size minimum. Fukushima, they were storing the reactor cores in that red depictions up here, where they didn't do that at Chernobyl. Chernobyl was allegedly stopped after 10 days, but there's evidence it was much worse than that, and they buried it and covered it up. And it's not acceptable. There's no need to manipulate everybody. There's no need to deceive the world. I don't know why it's doing that. It's supposed to be moved over, but it's not supposed to be blotted out, right? So, who knows? If I do this one, it is. If I do that one, it's not. So I don't know what's going on. Let's do that one, but I can't zoom in. So that's what's going on. I'll fix it later after the show. I'll find it. 190-foot building. I'm just coming out to tell the world, to make a statement, to be very clear and to not pretend that Like, you might not think it's big, you might say big whoop, right? Who cares? Well, we went out and we showed definitively that Fukushima is an extinction event. And trust us, we don't want that. Nobody wants this. That documentation is up at my website, thenuclearproctologist.org. It's a very humble site, not full of clutter. It's just based upon the research of these expeditions and about Fukushima. And it's a documentation showing you the damage to the coastline of North America. Devastation. The species are gone. They'll never come back. The pictures to your left are the authentic pictures to the right. And the right are the ones I went and took on all these expeditions. And I matched up the before and after pictures of Louise Narrows. Louise Narrows is up high on that island, Haida, formerly known as the Queen Charlotte Islands. And that's logged in Louise Narrows. Go to my website, thenuclearproctologist.org, and you'll find Louise Narrows. And the pictures are devastating. We see the entire collapse of the ecosystem, the complete destruction, annihilation of the entire ecosystem. So Greenpeace and organizations like that who haven't rallied and went to bat and war, they're not naive or gullible or stupid, right? And they might come on board later, right, to try to control the narrative. But trust me, they didn't help me. The people that helped me, most of them are watching right now, not necessarily participating in any kind of activism, but lots of them are. But what I'm trying to say is people around the world made this possible, and a handful of people made sure it finished out. And that was just the beginning. We are just literally at the beginning. About 6 years in, we see an extinction event now is almost complete. And we know this kind of... we have documentation after documentation of how they hid it. They actually hid it from you, right? I mean, but we have media that come out and showed it to you, right? Documentation of major institutions that modeled it and showed it to you. But we have people come out and purposely try to trick you, deceive you, manipulate you, and fool you. And they're still at that. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is one of these people, and his people that work for him have worked hard to destroy me and you or anybody else that would come out and show this kind of documentation. These are actual fallout models, and they stopped making these right away. These are only based upon a couple of days' releases. There's no models existing based on the inventory. So I have to explain it every time. I have to show it to you for context each time. Because they're not going to do that. They're not even going to admit. And they're still denying there was meltdowns. Even though they say meltdowns, they deny it by saying there's no damage, there's no fallout, there's no impact. They'll say there's 3 meltdowns and they say it never got out of the containment. It doesn't work that way. It's reprehensible. They should be hung in the street for doing what they're doing. There's no reason not to want these people dead. They deserve to be dead for hiding this. Anybody that hides it deserves to be lynched publicly. Legally, because we want to keep that kind of society. But, I mean, we don't want to hang people publicly. And who the frig wants shit like that going on in their neighborhood? All right, come on down. We're going to hang out some nuclear scientists. But, I mean, it's a metaphor. Not a good one, I'm sure, but we're talking about an extinction event. And we're talking about, you better wake up. You better get your shit together. You better get your act together. You better start understanding what I'm talking about. You better start learning. And you better realize that if you go anywhere, not my site, but if you go anywhere, because you won't find it, but if you go and find people that said any of these words, and they're professionals. And that's what you'll find, right? All the professors and journalists will not question these narratives. They need to be rounded up, put in FEMA camps, and then burnt. Just get everybody with big friggin' blow torches and just have a big barbecue and get rid of these people. The highly educated people that are out there telling this for 70 years, we don't think they're humans. We think they're aliens from another universe. And these are very dangerous criminals. The police, for some reason, refuse to arrest these people. The courts refuse to recognize it as a crime. And so ultimately, we'll recognize them as the criminals. And we'll demand instant prosecution, street hangings. That's ultimately where we're headed for. We're headed for anarchy in the next couple of years. We're headed for the complete breakdown of society and infrastructures. We're headed for true pandemonium. We're headed for end times. We're headed for a mass extinction for the human species because we're the apex predator. And everything that's bioaccumulating it, we're digesting it and eating it. We're breathing it all the time. The studies on the animals, and I know that sounds far-fetched to anybody who's not familiar with this topic. You better smarten up and pay attention. All the studies and all the animals, Gilmetti's just one of many of them, 144 beagle dogs, all the dogs died. They only had one inhalation, one monodispersal, one small amount. They all died within 5 years, 144 of them. Start your third sentence. Tumors of the lung, skeleton, and liver occurred after about 3 years. Tumors were found in 93 dogs, were the most common cause of death. Bone tumors were. Within 5 years, or 35 years for humans. But see, the dogs only had one monodispersal inhalation. Mercurium isotopes are a major byproduct in the radiative fuel rods, and they act the exact same way as plutonium did on the animals. We know this from all the studies, right? These are just basic studies, but it's just to show you we know from all kinds of studies that it's not like a banana or a potato chip or walking in the sunshine. And so why are the same people who know these studies exist telling you it's harmless, including that guy who's done exactly those things that I said are the most harmful things? That's how we found him. And how did we end up in a society? That's what else I got there. Oh yeah, that's screwed up if you get screwed up. I gotta fix that later, I guess. But two-headed dogs are trendy. Well, they will be. So someday in the future I'll get the kinks out of it.
Not near Baghdad. Don't believe them. They are nowhere. This is...
Right? The media didn't mind questioning him. Right? No, not at all. And so you got all these studies on dogs, yeah? Let's just look at that one more time. You got all these studies of dogs. But when Fukushima happened, MIT came out within a week or so. What was the date? Can't remember the date on this. Let's bring it up. Now, I put some depictions in the background. MIT is in the bottom right-hand corner. They got, I can't remember her name now.
Of a release. I mean, there's been very little that seems to have been...
Now, I'll just give you some context. They're talking about the releases at Fukushima.
Of a release. I mean, there's been very little that seems to have been released and dispersed beyond the containment. Now, unfortunately, we have very little data, almost no data about how much radiation we can live with in terms of elevated background levels. All of our data come about the health effects of radiation come from a situation in which all the doses delivered in less than a minute.
So they're using the data of just a single incident. Rather than look at the dog studies, right? MIT choose to use one study where a human was exposed in less than a minute to a small amount. And all their studies are based upon that. But yet they have millions of studies on animals and refuse to even mention that they exist. Yeah? Refuse to acknowledge that these studies are important. That was MIT. See? Is that not the essence of evil? Is that not the very persona? So hugs for everybody. Tough go. Please donate. Thank you to those who donated yesterday. Got to encourage people to donate. As much as I hate it, trust me, it's the right thing to be doing. Hi, Paula, Josh, Elaine. Hugs, Elaine. Shani. Dalamine. Sylvia. Hi, Sylvia. Gabriel. Hi, everybody. Octavia. Yeah, Zoe died out on the bird watch, my dog. When we were looking for bird count last year, she had a stroke and died. Chris. And hi, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Nikon. And everybody I don't get. I haven't got my glasses. Steve. Charlotte. Victoria. Veronica. Hi, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Duck Lamb. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Bright and early. Once again, I know people donated over the last couple of years. And if we had 1,000 people donating $10 a month, I'd wreck these people. I'd wreck them. I'd wreck them permanently. That's what we got to shoot for. Hugs for everybody. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Take care, folks.